after 2009, some people called me up and said, well, are you out of a job and is the work over? And we really looked at what we were doing with Extraordinary Lutheran Ministries and our effort, which is to specifically support LGBTQ people who are called to rostered ministry in this church, and to support the congregations and ministries who call them. But was that work done? We knew it wasn't done, because even though the policy changed in the ELCA, the reality is that it hasn't changed in every congregation across the country. What has changed is that more and more out LGBTQ people are following their call to ministry. Some of them are young people, some of them are people who delayed for years and years that call to ministry because they felt that they couldn't be a pastor in this church, and others are people who were removed years ago from the ELCA roster after coming out as gay, who are now coming back into ministry. So rather than our work going away or getting smaller, our work in fact has doubled. So before 2009, we had 3 primary programs. We had a roster, an ELM roster of LGBTQ pastors, and that was about 46 people at the time of 2009. Since then, we no longer have a roster, but we now have a professional community of all Lutheran rostered leaders who publicly identify as LGBTQ. We're right at 117. So just a year and a half after launching that, we have more than double the number of people that we had 2009, and about every 2 days I get an email from yet another person who is joining Proclaim. And just here in Los Angeles area alone, there are 6 people who are part of the Proclaim organization. So you really have a chance to know folks like Brenda and her pastor, Pastor Boleen at St. Paul, and Pastor Steve just up the road, and Pastor Caleb, who was installed yesterday, Pastor Guy Irwin, who serves at Cal Lutheran, and of course I knew I would forget, Pastor Dan Hooper, of course, at Hollywood Lutheran. So right here in this community, you have a chance to know these people who are a part of the national movement of out LGBTQ rostered leaders. So that work continues. The candidacy work, we've always provided support for people who are going through candidacy. Before 2009, we worked with maybe 3 to 5 people a year and helped them as they went through our extraordinary candidacy process. Right now, we're working with 40 people who are seeking to become rostered leaders in this church. So just in a couple of years, we've gone from 3 to 5 a year to 40 people. And when I tell you that it's important that you're supporting Brenda's internship, this year there were just about 10 LGBTQ people who were looking for internships throughout the ELCA. Next fall, we know there will be at least 20. That is an enormous leap to find that many congregations that will support, that are good congregations for an out LGBTQ person to serve. So thank you for what you're doing for Brenda, and there's a lot more work to do. So we'll probably come back to you and hear stories about, ask you for stories about how you've made it work with Brenda, but please continue to pray for her. Then the last piece is that we directly support congregations and ministries who have called LGBTQ pastors, and we continue to do that work. And the new piece that we now know we have to be doing is finding more congregations. Because these LGBTQ people are ready to serve this church, but the church is not quite ready for them. There are lots and lots of places that we need to find calls. We have people who are awaiting call. Caleb, who is an extraordinary pastor, and I hope you get to meet him, Caleb waited over a year and a half for a call, for one reason, because he's gay. He's going to be a remarkable pastor in that congregation, and you're very, very lucky to have him in your conference.